Fox News chief political analyst Brit Hume. Brit, you look at this race and you put up the RCP average. Mamdani does have a significant lead, as Alexis mentioned. It does not appear that today he said something that's going to change that trajectory. He does have a debate with all of them tomorrow night.
Yeah, Brett, I think the thing we have to recognize about this guy is he may be evasive, he may be a socialist. President Trump thinks he's a communist. But he is a big talent, and the striking thing about him is not only is he's polished and articulate, but he's very disarming. He's got this ready smile, and he seems so easygoing and friendly and affable. I think it's hard for the labels put on him as an extremist to stick. But when you start to examine his positions, there's a lot of the same old that we've heard many times from the left. Tax the rich and free buses and free this and free that. It hasn't worked out very well in the past. It probably wouldn't again, but at the moment he looks like he's on a glide path to be the mayor.
Yeah, here's another soundbite about giving President Trump credit for the ceasefire and beyond.
Would you give President Trump credit or not, to any extent? Credit or not?
I think it's too early to do so.
Too early to say.
But if it proves to be something that is lasting, something that is durable, then I think that's where you give credit.
But do you believe that Hamas should lay down their weapons and leave the leadership in Gaza?
I believe that any future here in New York City is one that we have to make sure that's affordable for all.
Never got to the answer about Hamas, and Martha tried numerous times.
That's right. He ended up saying Martha did everything she could. She did a good job. But he ended up saying he didn't have an opinion about that. That's pretty striking. I mean, look, yes, he's running for a local office and doesn't have any direct say about foreign policy. But as you pointed out, Brad, or as Martha did, he's got, or as Alexis did, they got this huge Jewish population in New York, and people's views about that war over there and that conflict matter in New York City. You'd expect it to have a view about that.
Here's Andrew Cuomo and on this race and Mamdani.
You still have to get to 50, and he hasn't gotten to 50%. Why? 50% of New Yorkers do not agree with him. They don't believe in defunding the police. They don't believe in making misdemeanors legal.
We have a broken status quo. We have a corrupt political system, and we have the politicians that sustain that. That's really what's on the ballot, is whether New Yorkers want to continue that.
He's made that affordability pitch. Every question eventually gets back to affordability, which for Democratic Socialists and the left part of the Democratic Party is very attractive as far as a political pitch.
Well, yeah, and particularly in a time of inflation, prices rising and job market being tough for a lot of people. Affordability is all, it's just another way of running on the economy. And but when you ask his answers, they always come down to taxpayer money being used to subsidize people or whatever, or to provide all these wonderful free services. The country has turned away from that in the past. New York's a pretty liberal place, so I guess their voters up there seem prepared to try it all again. Doubt it'll work out, but they seem ready to try it again.
And for the
Meanwhile,
president,
Brett, I got to tell you, I was going to do the imitation you said of Greg Gutfeld tonight, but I wanted to dress like him, and all my bowling shirts are in the laundry.
That's good, Britt. I was going to finish with, do you have an imitation? We'll wait for the costume change. Thank you.